let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this next social activity. Thank you so much for coming here. Today, we're going to listen to Kathleen, and she's going to tell us some more about tarot. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong.
Tarot
But you tell me.
tarot cards.
Tarot. See, thanks. Yeah. So we think this is super super interesting, and we think that Kathleen can give a very great new view, I think, for most here about what this is and what you can do with it. And I can't wait to hear what you have to tell us.
Good.
We have till 3:30. So let's say that you can talk until like 25, 5 before half. Maybe you can answer some questions if people have those. Something like that.
Sure. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'll give the floor to you.
All right.
And, yeah.
Thank you very much. Um, and thank you for the opportunity to speak at your conference. My name is Kathleen Jones, as you know. I'm going to tell you some things about myself as they are important to the core of my discussion, okay? My mother had the measles in the first trimester of pregnancy, causing me to be born without my left leg below the knee. I went on to becoming an emergency room nurse, and I was a no nonsense, strictly science, there is no other way person. That will describe me to a T. In 2002, I had a brain aneurysm. I could talk, but what I meant to say and what I actually came out of my mouth were different things. I managed to walk and talk again, but it took me a lot longer to relearn math than it did the first time. Interestingly enough, I could count money because it was tangible, but I couldn't do sums in my head. Okay? And then I had migraines, and I still have migraines, and they say that's very common with brain trauma. So, that's not something that's surprising. Well, then we fast forward to 2018 when I had Ramsay Humpt syndrome, or shingles in the ear. Okay? It causes pain, hearing loss, vertigo, ringing in the ears, affects the facial nerves as well as the otic ganglion. Shingles is the chickenpox virus lying dormant within the body until whatever mysterious thing triggers it and it infects the nerve endings. There wasn't much that the doctors could do. Number one, it's a virus. Number two, it's nerve damage. So I had to wait it out. For over 24 months, I waited. The vertigo was so bad at times I crawled to the bathroom. But the ringing in the ears was the horrible part. I couldn't get away from the noise. Didn't leave my bed. And when it started to be intermittent, you would think that was a relief, right? Well, when it came back, I would have panic attacks if I wasn't in the bed. My world had decreased to my bed because it was almost like I literally had been tortured for 24 months by my own body. When I would have a migraine while I had the ear pain and the vertigo and the ringing in the ear, I thought I would go insane. And here's the problem. In America, we have no socialized medicine. We have quite a few insurances do not cover mental health. It's not something that is on every street corner here. And I thought that I would stay in bed forever. But luckily, I had YouTube. I saw a woman with a tarot deck talking about how it went through the emotions and how she had worked through her child's death with it. Well, even after everything I've gone through, having a child die would have to be the most traumatic thing imaginable. Well, I immediately started studying tarot. on the internet. And tarot gently introduced mindfulness into my life, allowing me to get out of bed. Okay? Let me give you an example of one of the first issues I dealt with, because it was guilt. Because that card theme kept coming up, kept showing up in my personal readings. I felt so guilty for what my family had to go through for me. From the financial drain to the physical help, I was drowning in guilt. The tarot helped me go back and really examine and work through the guilt in many aspects of my life. When my mother had my sister, I was 8 years old, and Mom seemed to pour love on her. Why? Well, my mother was a school teacher when she was pregnant with me. She chose to work at school even though there was a measles outbreak at the time. She knew the risk. When I was born 2 months early without a leg, she knew I would pay the price for her decision. I spent 2 months in an incubator. She didn't know if I would survive. So there was no bonding. Okay? Keep in mind, this was in 1968. So much of what we know now was not practiced then. Okay? So why have I always felt guilty? Me. My mother projected her own guilt between us. And that was what I came to terms with. I never blamed her for my leg, because it's something that just happened. It's not anybody's fault. It's no fault, no foul. I didn't feel that way towards her, but her guilt overcame her, and I was always treated like a favorite niece or something, not like, a daughter. So me, with my single one semester psych class 30 years ago, was able to use this tool. What could you in the psychology field, with all the things that they have found out between 30 years ago and now, what could you do with it? And I plan on showing you some tools, ways to use it as a tool to further your practice, further your thing. So now let's begin. The cool thing about tarot is you can use it at any level. Okay, and I hope to make that clear in my talk. You will find the tarot is rife with correlations between Freud's work and Jung's. When you read the tarot cards, you are drawing connections between the images you see to the meaning of the cards. The faster you can look at the cards and see the connection of those images and meanings, the better reader you become. Man has told stories in picture form forever. Artists are still doing it. So by learning the meaning of the cards, you are literally teaching yourself a form of speed reading. I prefer the term intuitive reading because you are literally training your intuition. Okay? Now, understanding of and learning are two different things. Simple memorization works for spelling words, and it works for tarot as well. But writing the word sphygmomanometer 20 times doesn't tell you that it's a blood pressure cuff or how to do a manual blood pressure check. Okay? Meaning that to memorize all the meanings doesn't quite make you arrive at a place of understanding. You have to look at the cards from a different perspective. In the major arcana, there are 22 cards. In reality, they are archetypes that surprisingly follow Jung's list rather well. 0 is the Fool card. It is like the innocence of a child, and the Fool's journey is through the rest of the cards. The rest of the cards are numbered from 1 to 21. Both major and minor arcana, the cards total 78. Okay? These 21 cards are divided into 3 cemeteries. Each card has an archetype, but for brevity, you can ask about the archetypes, but I'm not going to go through all 21. Okay? The first 7 go under conscious thought. rational, practical, learning, childhood. The second, 8 to 14, go on under unconscious thought, emotional, search for self, expression, adulthood. And the superconscious, spiritual, expansion of soul, integration in old age. The minor arcana is a combo of numerology and the elements of each suit. Cups are water, wands are fire, so swords air, pentacles is earth. Then the court cards are the element and maturity level of each thing. The court cards are the hardest. Finally, the randomization of shuffling the cards is correlated in Jung's theory about acasual relationships being something to pay attention to. The idea of fortune telling with the tarot cards is explained in Jung's theory about collective consciousness. You are on your way to connecting with your higher self. Spirit, whatever you want to call it, spirit guides, the universe, the divine, whatever your belief system is. But essentially, if you can learn the speed reading and to do this, it's almost like you're having a conversation with yourself where you have a higher consciousness, a higher being, so that you, when you're meditating and stuff, you can get answers far quicker than you could. And I don't know if that's maybe because of the intuition, it's made my meditations be more succinct, but there it is. Tarot, in fact, all let's try that again. Tarot, and in fact, all divinatory systems, whether tea leaves, tea charms, tea cards, Kipper, Lenormand, runes, are all valuable in their mindfulness. Okay? When you divine with them, you don't take into consideration free will. I can look at the cards and tell you the outcome and what you need to do to work on the outcome. Most of the time it happens, but I always tell people who want that type of reading that free will always has to be accounted for. For example, if you and your boss are in sync for your promotion that you know is coming up, but at the last minute the boss's nephew suddenly has a position you were being groomed for. The boss had you in mind. You had yourself envisioned in the role, but suddenly when the nephew lost his job, it was not something either person thought about at the time. Okay? So when we did the reading, it was not on either person's mind. That goes back to the collective conscious. Okay? And what is the tarot? Well, I think of it as a way to be more mindful, training for your intuition, and it really encourages meditation. Okay? So let's do a reading, and I'll kind of show you what's what. Okay? Okay. And because watching me shuffle is almost painful because I have one good hand, I've already asked the question and shuffled the cards and got them all ready to go. Okay? All right. Now then, these little cards are our question cards. Okay? And these, there's a bunch of them, but the one I think we will do today is, what do I need to alleviate stress and pressure in my life? Because the ones that say, are worded like this, you can change the word life and put career, romance, whatever else, and do several readings on one spread. And I think that would be the most beneficial to show you what I'm talking about. Okay? Okay. All right. So what do I need to do to alleviate stress and pressure in my life? And I got all these ready already. I asked the questions. Here, I'll just use this one since it's not ready to go. You ask the questions and then you shuffle the cards, and with the question on your mind constantly. And then you say, 1, this is, I'm doing, cannot think of the man's name. The hierarchy of needs. can't think of the thing's name. Oh well. This is physiology. This is security. Okay? This is, I can't remember. No. Oh, where is that, Mike? Okay. I'll just do it like this. Physiology. This is the 5 of Wands. It means tension. Okay? What can I do to alleviate stress and pressure in my life? This is bickering. This is tension. This is, can you see? I doubt it. No, not really. This is tension. This is something that has always, like someone pressuring you at work. You going through that, you know. This, it can mean heartbreak. It can mean loss. It can mean the healing is about to begin. All that kind of stuff. When you put these two as a baseline for your reading, you know then when you ask that question, what do I need to do to alleviate stress and pressure in my life, you can take time to make sure that you are taking care of yourself first, because that will stop a lot of heartaches down the road, because you've got the Wheel of Fortune, and it means that things are in motion, things are changing. The Ace of Cups tells you there's an overflowing feeling, so you know that even though things are changing and you may feel a little unsteady, you know that at the end of the change you've got love and you've got inspiration, because the Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. Now, if we change the what do I do to alleviate stress and pressure in my life to what do I do to alleviate stress and pressure in my career, there's where you, with the 5 of Wands, you have that boss pushing you. But you need to realize that if he's pushing you to get things done, that means he has faith in you. He can push you because he knows you get it done. So, you know, understanding that can be a turning point in your career, when you realize that you have someone's admiration rather than just thinking he is such a jerk. Well, it changes your perspective, and you know, you come to relax, to enjoy his company. You learn to be at peace with yourself, and the inspiration for doing things, getting things done, being that person that is that creative spark, that will be the results of this. The same thing with what do I need to alleviate stress and pressure in my romantic life. Tensions will lead you down the road of bickering and fighting. You go back and forth between these two because they are the base of the reading. And then the thing again, change. Life is change. We know that everything has to change, because if you don't change, you do not grow. And so we know that if we handle this change well, we will reach the overflowing love towards our partner, and have the creative, instinctive, fiery spark present. It's not that you change what you're saying, you just change a couple of verbs or something like that, but it's seeing what the cards are doing together, how they work off one another. Like, for example, taking it in just this way. Okay. You have, this is the middle card. The middle card is always the most important card anytime you have an uneven spread. Okay? And here's the second thing. This is a major arcana. So this is one of the ones that we associate with an archetype. This is, so all the major arcanas always have a higher ranking thought than any other card. But if you have 5 major arcanas, it's going to be the middle one that rules the reading, so to speak. So what this reading would be about is change or karma. And bickering and fighting and all that kind of stuff is not something that's going to promote goodwill. It's not something that's going to promote anything like that. So here is one side of the reading, but if it's saying is, if you accept and embrace the change, you're going to be feeling unbelievable amounts of love for yourself, and then you will have the inspiration to go and help others. Now we can do more than that if we go.
Oh, I'm just breaking in to tell you that there's 5 minutes left.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. I hate to say this, but
I'm so sorry. Well, why don't we ask questions then? We have a question and answer thing?
Are there any questions? Or maybe she can continue what she was talking about. If people want to hear that, I can imagine as well.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah. Well, while I'm doing this, I will say the Lightseers Tarot is a great resource online. You can go to lightseerstarot.com and they have the meanings of the cards, and they have an affirmation and questions about that affirmation for you to read and think about. The other thing is these little cards here. It's Tea with Karen, and she's on Etsy, and she's on YouTube, and she sells these wonderful little tea cards that it's not quite as in depth as the tarot, but it's more for somebody that wants imagery that they're very familiar with, okay? Because not all people can do like imagery like this. This is like, very, very symbolic. But a house is something that they can latch onto a little better, okay? And you take these little jewels, and I'll put this one on the Five of Wands. You need to show your attractive side. Show your put your best foot forward. Stretch your stuff, but be demure and delicate enough to keep your stability with your health. Your health has got to be a number one priority. And then we're still doing love life, okay? Okay. And an angel, you need some sort of guidance, because your heart is you're not ready to love someone because your heart is broken. So let's concentrate on the beauty that you have going on inside of you and learn to love you, and then we can turn to other people and go from there. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time now.
Yeah, I'm afraid so too. But I think I hope I speak for everyone here that I think this is super, super interesting. And I've learned a lot. I didn't really know much about this. And I think you told us a very inspiring story. And something that I think goes against what people expect from what tarot is, or how it is usually brought into the media.
Right.
For example.
I'm going to think of this. You pick a tarot card, one of the major arcana. You put it down. Pick one that represents the person, okay? You put it down. Then you ask what to do, what action to do, what action to avoid. And it really helps, to cut down on, because so much of the time we don't even realize we are acting a certain way. It's not something that anybody goes, oh, you are being a little bit. No, it doesn't. So the tarot, using it in this manner, it really helps make you see it. It's, like I said, mindfulness.
Great.
Oh,
I think that's a great way to end.
Oh, and if everyone would go to my YouTube channel, it's Kathleen J. Lightworker on YouTube, and this video I taped it on my phone so I wouldn't get anybody's faces, but this video is going to be the first one I put up, because I was waiting until everything was perfect before I started, and then this fell in my lap, and I thought, well, maybe that's the universe telling me that if you don't go now, it's not going to, it's just not going to happen. So you've got to just do it.
Great. Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Well, you're so welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I think everyone should give a round of applause to do it this way. Very difficult rest, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alright. So everyone can go to the next session. I think it'll start now. So.
Alright. Bye-bye.
You're getting some thank yous in the chat as well.
Oh, thank you.
So, okay. Unfortunately, I also have to. We have to get out of the Zoom meeting as well, because
no
people
problem.
will use this. If you want me to post anything like your YouTube account or other information, I can post it on the Discord so that people can find it back.
Okay.
You can send it to me or to Iris, and I will put it on the Discord channel for the participants.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
See you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Now, how bad did I do?